All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. Good morning. Good morning. Turn y'all over here. I'm down here. So you up there just so you can see the screen real good. So this morning, I promised yesterday that I would be going live. I said this to IG last night's live that I'll be going live this morning to show you. Hey, Dirk. I know you was on the live last night. I said that I'll be going live to show you guys how to set up your artwork in Adobe Photoshop. All right. So let me know if you can hear me on YouTube. Let me know if you can hear me. YouTube, if you can hear me. Facebook, if y'all can hear me. Drop a 1 in the comment. IG, good morning. Good morning. If you can hear me, let me know. Everything good. And if you can see the screen, hopefully you can see my computer screen here. This is the Adobe Photoshop. All right. So if you're jumping into Photoshop this morning, I'll be showing y'all how to set up your artwork. Okay. All right. So we're good. Living the dream. Gina, good morning. Living the dream. I got my coffee. What are you drinking this morning? I'm a little late, but everything's clear. Awesome. I want to just dive right into it this morning. I am on multiple platforms, and we'll try to make this thing a way that is good and digestible for your system. Okay, so this morning we'll be talking about how to set up your artwork in Adobe Photoshop. If this is your first time using Photoshop, this video or this audio or this live right now is going to help you out. Okay, I am recording this audio, so it will probably end up going on to a podcast channel just so you're able to listen to it. You know, sometimes it's not always video. People might just be driving and be able to digest it that way. So my goal here is to make this information available everywhere and anywhere you are at. All right. So this morning we're in Adobe Photoshop. So if you have your computer, you should probably open it up. That way you're able to follow along and all of that. And if you got any questions, just drop the questions down. I will address it at the end of this. If it's something that is going to stop you from moving forward because you're following along, I will say go ahead, drop it a few times, put a Q in front of your question, and I'll be able to address it in the middle of this conversation. All right. But don't forget, double tap the screen, like this video, leave a comment. Everything is important to me, right? And all I'm asking is that you connect with me in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can help you. All right. So again, there's links down below. If you're watching this, no matter where you're watching this, listening to this, there's going to be links down below. It's also live right now on the YouTube channel where I'll be sharing the screen. And that's youtube.com/garment creations. youtube.com/garment creations. All right. So let's dive into it. Right here, I have my Photoshop screen opened up. When you open up your Photoshop screen, it might look a little different from mine's at this first initial state right here. All right. It might look a little different right here. But once you get into the software, I'll show you how to set up your workspace so it looks just like mine's. Because most of the time, I think people get a little confused. They're like, oh, your software don't look like mine's. Your screen don't look like my screen. So I'm going to make sure we're good here. All right, so this is not a full Photoshop tutorial. I do have a Photoshop course that is attached as one of the bonuses to the course that's in the bio for $27. All right, but I want to give this to y'all this way. When you go ahead and upload your designs onto the company that we recommend, which is bestdtfusa.com, bestdtfusa.com. I will be giving you a coupon again, like I promised. I'll give you a coupon for 15% off. All right, but you have to watch this video and get through it. And once we start to upload, you will see what that coupon is. All right, so I'm opening up Photoshop. And right immediately when you open up the program, onto the left side, you're going to see a button that's blue. On my end, it's a blue button, and it says File New. File New. All right. So if you see that file new, and then you see under there, it says file open. We're not going to open up anything. You open up what you have that's already existing, right? We don't have anything existing. We don't have a Photoshop file existing already. So we're going to start a brand new document. We're going to go to file new. All right. So I'm just going to hit that file new button. And when you open up your file new button, you are greeted with this new document box. This new document box right here is where you're going to set up all of your information. This is where you're going to tell Photoshop now what it is that you're trying to do. All right. So if you're watching this, double tap the screen for me and give me some hearts. If you see my screen, give me some hearts so we're able to move forward here. Okay. All right. So a few things I want you to pay attention to over here, and it's going to be on the right side, right? It is the preset detail section. We're going to have width, and we're going to play with resolution. We're going to change the color mode, and then we're going to change the background content. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do right here, if you're first opening this up, is probably set on pixels. Right underneath where it says width, we want to change that to inches. So I'm going to change mine from pixels right now to inches. The last thing I was working on was in pixels. So now I want to change this to inches. And immediately when you change that, you want to come over to the left side where it's the width. Okay. So in my width now, good morning, everybody. In my width, I'm going to type in the size that you tend to purchase, right? On Best DTF USA, they have 22 by 60, they have 22 by 120, and they have 22 by 24. So you think about what size you want to create. But in this section here, we're going to create a 22. Oh, y'all can't see my screen on YouTube. Let me jump back in there. My apology. All right, so now you should be able to see my screen here. If you're watching on YouTube, you should be able to see my screen now. Hey, Jeffrey, long time. There we go. Rob Beats, what up? All right, so I got my 22 by 60 gang sheet up, set up. 22 by, we're going to do 22 by 60 here, right? Or, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do 60 inches because I don't want to make this too long. 22 by 60. And now the next part down here is important. That's going to be your resolution. Resolution. For resolution, there are two numbers I want you to remember, right? But if you're going to print, because I'm teaching you how to set this up for transfers printing, it's UPS banging on the door. Some work has been delivered. All right, so because I'm showing you how to do this for transfers printing, I want you to remember the number 300. 300 resolution is going to be where you want to be every single time you're printing anything. If you're going to print it, it needs to be at this number right here, right? So 22 by 60 is where I want you to be. And then 300 resolution. So we're going to type in 300 right here. And then next to that, you want it to be on pixels per inch. Pixels per inch, okay? Pixels per inch. And now underneath of that is going to be color mode. For color mode, we're going to change this from RGB to CMYK. RGB is what the screen talks like, right? That's what the screen, like, this is how you can read. Your screen is accurate if it's on RGB. But because we're going to print, we want this on CMYK, right? CMYK. Every printer that you send your artwork to, they work in the CMYK profile. Okay, so you want to make sure you're designing in CMYK if you're going to be setting up some transfers, correct? If you got that part, drop a comment down below. Drop a 1 if you're watching on IG. You can see my screen. All right, so the next part is important, super important. This is the background content, y'all. The background content must be set on transparent. Transparent, not black, not white, not custom. Nothing else here matters when you're setting up your gang sheet besides transparent. So let's make sure we set this up on transparent. And now color profile, we're not going to touch anything else here, y'all. So again, we got our 22 by 60. We got our 300 resolution. You got your CMYK color mode. You don't have to worry about the bits. and then you have transparency. Okay, transparency. Now I'm going to go ahead and click create. Create. So let's say you're watching on Instagram, you want to really get a close up onto the screen. You can jump over onto YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/Garment Creations. youtube.com/Garment Creations. All right. So we're over here now. You see my gang sheet or my canvas. We're going to call it my canvas, my artboard. I'm going to take this bar here. I'm using the Photoshop, the new Photoshop beta with the generative fill feature. So if your Photoshop look a little different, that's okay. So the first thing I want you to do here, so that your Photoshop look like mine's, we'll come over here and we're going to set up our workspace. So I'm going to click on Windows. Up top, I'm in the top bar now. All right, the contextual toolbar. I'm going to come to Workforce, Workspace. So on Workspace, make sure yours is set on Essentials. Make sure your workspace is set on Essentials. All right, so that it looks just like mine. That's like the default, but sometimes you might be set on graphic. It might be set on motion. These are all the different things Photoshop is used for. Okay, but for us, we just do the bare minimum here is the basics that you need to know right now. So we're going to set this on Essentials. All right, so make sure you're set on Essentials. So if I'm saying starting certain stuff, it's lined up where you want to be. You could also like position your Photoshop screen the way you want it. You can move all of these tabs around. So over here, I have my layers panel, right? If I wanted to put my layers on this side, I could do that. I could put my layers on the left side if I wanted to, right? It's just a matter of grabbing that tab that says layers and placing it, hovering it over until you see the blue. Once you see the blue line, that means it's okay to release, and you can release that where you want to be. All right. So I'm going to keep mine right there because we use your layers panel a lot when you're designing in Adobe over here. The layers panel is basically, it's like a book, right? I like the way I like to look at layers. It's like you're reading a book, you have the cover, and then you have pages in there. So once you open up the cover, that's going to be the whole system now is opened up. That's the cover. And now the layers has all the different pages that you're either going to read, you're either going to highlight, you're either going to erase. Everything is done in the layers panel. Understood? Everything is done in the layers panel. All right, so right now you should have layer 1. You can also rename these layers. So instead of it saying layer 1, you can double tap on the area that says layer 1, and you can change it to, maybe we'll say artboard. Right, we'll say artboard. B-O-A-R-D. Now, you have your first layer that's called artboard, and that's the 22 by 60 gang sheet or canvas. Now, when you're looking at your canvas, it looks like a checkerboard. If yours look like a checkerboard, that means you did it correctly, right? Those checkerboards are actually pixels. Those are little squares that come together to make a pixel. All right, all of these pixels come together to make one image. All right, so if I zoom all the way into this area here, I'm just holding Control Z. I'm gonna keep going, and you see, like, I can go as far as I want, and every square here has a bunch of squares inside of them. I can keep going, and then eventually I get to the end where I have maximized all of the pixels. Control Z to get back to his normal full screen. Good, following along. If you're following along and you're finding value to this, go ahead, drop some hearts, click the like button, subscribe if you're on YouTube and you haven't subscribed. All right, so now over here, we want to start placing our files onto our artboard. We want to start placing our files onto our artboard. You may think like, okay, I got to open up my file. Nah, you want to place your file. Okay, you want to place your file because now you are working onto this artboard. You don't want to open up a new artwork because then it's going to go into a different tab. All right, so we're going to come over here to File up top on the top bar. You're going to go to File, just like any other system you're working into, right? It's going to be a file, there's going to be edit, and so on. So we're going to do File. You would think that you want to go to File Open, but you want to keep scrolling down and go to File Place Embedded. File Place Embedded. So I'm going to go to File. I'm going to Place Embedded. And I'm going to find a folder, right? You know where your images are at. For me, I'm just going to grab some random images here. Nothing special. Nothing in particular. We're just going to grab a bunch of images here. All right. So the first one here, you just choose an image. I'm going to just grab, it doesn't matter. I'm going to grab this one here. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to grab it. We're going to place it and we're going to wait. If your computer is slow like mine, it's going to take a little bit for it to sit there and like actually populate. All right. But immediately when your image comes onto this canvas, you have this blue box around there. This is called the banding box. The banding box. Okay. So if you were talking to anybody that know Photoshop, any expert, you can't just say, hey, I got this blue box around there. It's called the banding box. Okay. So this banding box right here allows you to resize your images from grabbing the left corner, right? I like either the right corner. I like to resize from the corners, depending on, like what side you want to do. I either do the left corner or the right corner, top corner, doesn't matter. But before we resize anything, I want you to come to the layers panel. I told you a lot of things are going to happen in the layers panel. All right. So my image already came in with a name and it says cast your care, right? That's the name of this image here. But what I want you to do now, why it's still selected, how do you know your layers is selected? Let's say I'm going to click off of it right now. If I click off of my layers, you can see this layer is not highlighted. There's no gray. Once it's selected, it turns gray. If you want to affect anything in Photoshop, you must select it. If you want to work on a layer, you must select that layer. Some folks, sometimes you think like, oh my goodness, nothing is happening. Most of the time it's because that layer is not selected. Okay, so I'm going to select this layer here. Once I clicked off, my banding box went away. But to bring my banding box back, I'm just going to do Control-T, or you can go to Edit, Free Transform. Edit, Free Transform. It's good to learn these shortcuts because that's really what speeds up your productivity. That's what really make you a little faster to get results in this program. So to edit, it's going to be Control-T. So now the next thing you want to do, right-click on this layer bar, okay, onto the layer. Click, like rest over the gray area there, not on the thumbnail, right? There's a thumbnail right here that shows the image. You don't want that. You want to rest somewhere else. That's just a free space. And then we're going to right-click. We're going to right-click. And when you right-click, you get this hamburger menu. Okay? You get the hamburger menu. It seems like y'all can't see the hamburger menu, but once you right-click, there's a long list of items that show up. You want to go through that list and find Convert to Smart Object. Convert to Smart Object. All right? So you want to convert this image to a smart object. Just click on it. And what that allowed us to do now is to be able to resize our image without affecting it so much. We're not going to lose too much details because this right here is a transparent image. This is a pixel base. It's a raster based image. When I zoom all the way into this image here, you can see I see those dots that we talked about, right? These are all dots. I'm inside of the image. This tells me that this is a raster based image. Okay. So you want to make sure you convert that into a smart object that allows you to resize it without losing any details. Yes, the live will stay up. Lives are always up, so you'll be able to come back to it, all right? So next thing now, this is where we're going to resize our image and get it set up onto our artboard now. Our artboard is also your gang sheet. This is the size of gang sheet that's going to come to you once you apply, after you purchase your transfers from Best DTF USA. All right. And I told you guys there is a coupon code to get 15% off. All right. So if you stay with me with this video here, you'll be able to get the code. All right. So here we go. And if you're finding value, please go ahead and hit the like button, share this with somebody, because everybody needs to know this information. There's no need to put a bar around this to try to keep it in your pocket and try to put it in the chokehold. This stuff is important for a lot of folks to learn so the industry can move forward. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to resize our image. When it comes to resizing your image, you want to think now, what size shirt are you putting this on? Are you designing for adult size, right? Like, remember, like I don't care about the small, medium, large, extra large. I'm talking about adults, youth, toddlers, or left chest logos, right? Adults, youth, toddlers, left chest logos, okay? Because most of the time we get wound up on this, oh my goodness, I'm doing medium shirts, what size should I make the image? No, man, and now the customer wants this on a large shirt, what size do I make the image? None of that matters. This is adult size. All those from extra smalls to 3X, sometimes even like 5X. I've never really pressed anything that big. My biggest I've done is 3X. And this size image here, which is 10.5 to 11 inches, works for majority of those sizes there. All right. People get a little too what's it called? Too wound up on these different sizes here. Unless the customer tell you specifically, I need this image to be 11 by 17, then you can go ahead and make those images 11 by 17. But I've been doing this 8 years now. I've never had a customer that tells me, yo, man, I need these images to be 11 by 17. And then when you give them the image, they take a ruler to put it next to it. If you got one of them customers there, man, I feel sorry for you. All right. So you got to be the creative here. You got to be the engineer around this thing. Stop overthinking it. So I'm going to resize my image by just grabbing one of the corners, right? I'm just going to grab one of the corners. I'm usually grabbing my right corner, right bottom. And as you're resizing this image here, you can see the size is changing. If you look, there's a box right now. I'm at 11 by 14. And based on the image, I like to do my size is going to be on the longest side. Alexa, stop. I wasn't talking to you. So based on this image, I'm always going to be sizing based on the longest side of my image. The longest side of my image. All right. So right now you can see the longest side of this image is in the height. So I'm going to make my height, like I said, for this image, I'm going to do 11. Right. So 11 inches long. I told you for my adult shirts is between 10.5 to 11 inches. Okay. So now this image right here is going to be 11 inches wide, 11 inches long by 8.7. I only changed one side because the system is going to proportionally give me the second size, right? Imagine if I was trying to make this image here. Oh, I need it to be 11 by 13. Now I go ahead and I start to stretch this image. It's distorted, right? You don't want your images to be distorted. So just worry about sizing it up on one side. Right now, it's all stretched. Distorted means it's stretched, man. You got this thing all stretched out. Looks like it's on weights. You feel me? Working out like my man Rob Beats, you know? But you don't want that. You want to go ahead, just resize this to one size. All right, so now we're going to place this thing onto the artboard. But you want to make sure your image is not off the edge. Obviously, it's going to get cut off, right? You want to make sure it's not overlapping. It's going to get cut off. You're going to waste your time. Those images are going to get printed just how you lay it onto the sheet. So make sure you take your time. It's accuracy before speed. Don't rush through this thing here. Zoom in, zoom out, twist things around. I don't care. Put glasses on, squint it, turn the lights on, do whatever you got to do. Make your screen brighter. double check your artwork before you submit it. One thing I like to do now, you're going to commit right here, hit the check button and just commit and let that thing sit right there. But because I want to be able to see my images accurately, so I'm going to add a background here that we're going to turn off later on. And to do that, I'm going to come back into my layers panel right here. I'm going to come all the way to the bottom bar. You got FX and you got this box with a circle that's mask. And then you come over here to your adjustment. I'm going to add a solid color adjustment. A solid color adjustment, right? Once you get your solid color adjustment, this screen comes up. You're going to choose a color. Choose something that's not in your artwork, obviously, right? Like, because then it's going to blend in. So I like to do something that's way off, like an off color. Like maybe we'll just choose, I don't know, there's a lot of pink in this image here. So we're going to do something like this, right? Something that's off, like something weird that you know is not going to interfere with your artwork. All right, so now I'm going to take this fill layer because it's not covering my sheet. I told you layers, I look at layers in the form of like a book with sheets. So now I can't see my artwork because the book is closed. We're going to open up this book and we're going to move this sheet out the way by just grabbing into the gray area and bringing it down. When you bring this down, make sure you see the blue line before you release. When you see the blue line, then it's okay to release. Once you see the blue line, then it's okay to release. Now, I have my image where I can see, right? If I zoom in here, I can see the image. You understand? So if I were to duplicate this image here and bring another one right there, if I didn't have this blue, it's kind of hard to see like that it's overlapping if I was zoomed all the way out. You know, right here, it's hard to tell that it was overlapping. But because I got this blue right here, this background, be like, oh, dang, this thing is overlapping. I need to move it over a little bit more. So now you can move this thing over. And now when you're moving this over, when you're sizing up your artwork, you want to think about yourself in the future, right? I like to think about my future self. I'm going to be the one to cut this out. Okay? I'm going to be the one to cut this out. So you want to make sure that you're not keeping this so close where even the scissors can't even get through it. Right? Think about your future self now. Don't give yourself a headache. Try to keep it nice and square so it's easy for you to line it up onto the garment. So give yourself a little bit of space. Don't be cheap and say, oh, I need to make it so tight and fit another one in. You know, think about your future self. You're going to be grateful that you did that. All right, so now we are not able to fit another image here at this size. Like I told you, maybe these were adult sizes. Maybe now the customer wants the same image in youth size. So now we can duplicate this image, and I'm duplicating my images with a shortcut. Okay, I'm just hovering over the image that I want to duplicate with my cursor, and then I hold the Alt key. When I hold the Alt key, it gives me two cursors now. There's two arrows. There's a white arrow and a black arrow. I'm still holding down my Alt key, right? And now I'm going to click, still holding down the Alt key, and that allows me to drag a second one down. Okay, and now while I'm still holding the Alt key, I'm dragging down, and it looks like my image wants to move around all goofy. All I got to do is add the Shift key. Okay, so right now I'm holding Shift, Alt, and my mouse. And that Shift just keeps it proportion. If I'm bringing it straight down, it's not going to move to the right, left, no matter what I do, as long as I keep my finger on that Shift key. Understood? Good. All right, so now we got a second image here. We're going to re-transform it again. That's Edit Free Transform. You're going to resize this for maybe a youth shirt. Now for youth shirts, I recommend you make it 8.5 to 9 inches. So I have a 9-inch image here on the longest side. We'll see if we're able to fit it here. We can't fit it here based on this image. You may have to rotate it. You may have to flip it. You can do whatever you want to do. Over here, flip it this way and see if it fits. You know, this is your world. It's your money. Try to make it fit. If it doesn't fit there, then you know that image is not going to work. So now maybe you also have a toddler size in this order for the same image. Now you can resize this for toddler size, which is going to be 5.5 to 6 inches. Okay, so I'm going to make my toddler size right here. We're going to say maybe about 6 inches right here for my toddler size. And boom, there you go. I'm able to fit my toddler image right there in this space. You want to fill up every square inch of this gang sheet because you're paying one price for it. Understood? Give me some hearts if you're finding value to this thing here. Give me some hearts. Give me some likes on this video. I would appreciate that. Okay. If you're really feeling grateful, you can go ahead and send a super chat or something like that, or star, or something like that, you know? Asking and you'll be receiving. You feel me? All right. So here we go. We're going to click this right here. Boom. I'm going to line this up because now my folks also want this image here on. You can add another one there. Happy Wednesday. You can add another one right there for 2 youth images. Okay, so now all of a sudden now you have a good 14 inches here, right? That's my ruler. And to bring this ruler up, let me show you this real quick. If you want to bring in your ruler so you're able to really line things up, you come up here to view and show or view ruler, right? Also, the other thing that you want to have in your view, you want to do view guides, and you want to be able to show your guides. So it snaps to it. So no matter what I do, I have my snap on, I have my ruler on, and then my guides are also on, all right? So now I got a ruler down on this side that I can bring in if I wanted to find a center mark and all of that, okay? And these rulers here, you can then drag them back onto the left side or wherever you took them from and be able to get them out of the way. The rulers will not get printed. Even though you see the rulers, they do not get printed, okay? I think we should have more hearts than that. I only see 1 heart. We should have more hearts than that, y'all. We should have more hearts than that. You feel me? We should have more hearts than that. We should have more love than that. Taking my time to walk y'all through this morning. All right, so let's go. We're going to add more, okay? We're going to add more. Maybe you have other images. You know, the customer only wanted this. You can add more of these if you wanted to. Boom, boom. All right, so I'm going to click on one. I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to click on the second one. Now I got 2 of these that I can move around at one time. All right. Now to move my screen up, just hold your space bar. You can move your screen up. Shortcuts is the key in Photoshop. Shortcuts. All right. So instead of hitting my down arrow, sometimes that don't even work. You just hold your shift bar and it turns into this hand. And with the hand now, you can slide your screen around. That's a tip. All right. So now, boom, we got more of these. Maybe this is the only image the customer wants. I don't want to just make this thing so long. It's the only image the customer wants. So we're just going to fill these up. And they only have 2 kids that's going on this trip with them, right? Boom. So now this is it. We're going to bring these down as well. You're just going to fill in this space, y'all. That's all I'm doing. And then you realize, like, dang, I'm done with the customer's order. But now I still have all of this space here. I had some extra images in there. You don't know you need them until you need it later, right? Just add some extra images. What I like to do with these extra spaces is use it as my wow moments, man. I like to wow customers a little bit when I'm sending them custom items. Maybe you order an extra t-shirt and you throw another image on there. You think about what this customer could use that they didn't order. So maybe you think about hats. You say, man, I know this shop is going to need some hats. You know, maybe this construction company is going to need some hats in the summertime. That's when you go ahead, you think above, you think before them, right? And you throw one hat into the package and just throw it in the box for free. Next thing you know, the customer open that box and be like, oh, dang, I could get the same logo on hats. And it'll be like, oh, okay, let's call. And then they'll call you back. Hey, can you guys do some 12 hats real quick? You've already have the designs because you were smart. You went ahead and you created, you fill in the blanks with a whole bunch of extra images, right? So we're going to put a bunch of more images here. And now we're going to take the same image here. We're going to resize it for hats, right? And I told you, or for left chest logos. My left chest logos is going to be 3.5 to 4 inches. So we're going to resize this real quick. Boom. We're going to do 4 inches on the longest side, right? Now you got a bunch of images here that's going to fit on left chest logos. It's going to fit also on like maybe a towel or something like that. This is not going to fit on hats, right? So now you can just fill this sheet up, give them more. Okay, so now we got all this extra here. Be careful, this one right here is touching, so we're gonna give ourselves space so we're able to cut these out later. All right, so now you got all these extra images here. Then to do your hats, take the same image, we're gonna resize it again. For hats, I'm gonna say you do it 2 inches to 2.5, right? So I'm gonna take this, resize it one more time. On the longest side, we're gonna do 2.5 or maybe 2.4, right? Based on the type of hat that you're using. Now we got these. We're gonna zoom in a bit more. Control Z. Scroll up if you're holding our space bar, and then we're gonna make more of these, right? Click on one, push shift, click on the second one. Both of these are selected. Hold the Alt key as you hover. Now you're able to move both of these together. Holding down the shift key, you are also adding more value where it's nice and proportional. You can do this much more faster. This layers thing out the way now because I can't see. Boom. Close your layers, collapse your layers. And one thing, if you see all these pink numbers here are gonna lock. Like once you see everything is 0.63, the system knows the spaces that are between all the other images. It recognizes like, okay, this everything here is 0.63 space difference, right? So it gives you that same space. And once it shows that, it locks up. Okay. So you want to pay attention to all those little details. Those are not just numbers. Right here again, it locks at 63. So now we got our artboard, or we got our artwork that's filled up, but we still got all this space. This is everything we need for our order. Now just fill in some extra images here that you might need later on down the road. You don't know you need it till you need it, right? So now I'm just gonna fill some stuff in here, place, edit, place, embedded. We're gonna find more images. Okay, and now remember, as soon as I bring my images in, the first thing I'm gonna do, come to that layer with the image on there. We'll come to that layer. The layer is already gonna be highlighted once it's in there. We're gonna right click on it. And we're gonna convert to a smart object. Every time you bring in an image, make sure you convert it to a smart object. Okay, every time, make sure you convert it to a smart object. And here you go. So immediately, I'm gonna take a step back real quick and show you something. So before I converted it to a smart object, you see like all of this space was there. Do that one more time. Boom. So now if you look at my image, right, it has all this extra space at the bottom and all around it. This is telling my image right now is this size big, but it's really not because all this is extra space and it's still counting into my size. That's why the smart objects is important. It gets rid of all this extra space and it actually resizes it exactly around the image. So I'm gonna do that one more time, convert to a smart object. And now when I do Control T, you can see my banding box is exactly squared, touching the image. This is what you want to do. You don't want to take account of all the other spaces that throwing your sizing off. That's why some of the times your order transfers and it comes to you, it's like, oh, this is smaller than I wanted it to be because you took account for all this extra blank spaces that were not supposed to be in the image. So make sure you're converting to a smart object. Understood? Drop a 1 if you understand me. All right. So boom. Here we go. Now we have more images here. We can resize. These are all extras. Maybe you make yourself some shirts. Maybe now you can make shirts for the kids or something like that. Just fill in the space, y'all. Don't leave these space blank. Your artworks, you probably got more artwork than anything on your computer. So just fill in the space, right? Maybe you just need one of those. You want to make yourself a shirt. You want to sample something. You want to do a brand sample or something like that. Do something else with the space. Don't leave it blank. There's another one here. Again, this one here has a whole bunch of extra spaces at the bottom. You guys see that? See all this extra space. If I leave this right now and try to resize it, the actual image in there is off. So it's important now. Come over to your layers panel, convert to a smart object. Now, when you select this thing here, it should be where you want it to be, size right up on that image. And now we're just going to take this one, we're going to rotate it so it fits in this spot. Resize it any way you want. Now you got your gang sheet that's filling up nice and tight for you. You're going to get your bang. You're going to get your money worth. Best bang for your buck right there. All right. So now you got this little space here. The only thing you can probably fit down here is a bunch of left chest logos. So you figure out again, maybe I want to make myself some shirts now with just some left chest images, right? We're going to take this one here. I have a bunch of faith-based designs. So those are what I use. Boom. And once you hit smart object, you got to let the system think it's doing its work now. And boom, just like that, you're good. You resize this again, Control T. I'm going to resize this for left chest logos. You know, bam, 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 commit, and fill in the blank here. All right, boom, boom. Sometimes it's hard to click on these if you're not like zoomed in. Zoom in a bit so I can see the image and see where I'm clicking at. I'm just going to hover over it, hold down the Alt key till I get my double arrow, and then I'm going to slide this over. And do that a few times until you fill in that space. Boom. Over here right now is touching, so just go ahead, bring this down, or rotate it the other way. All right. You guys have finding value to this? Was this helpful? Is this helpful for you? Because I get the question, people are struggling with doing this. Even you're sending this to vendors and you're giving the vendor a hard time and you're thinking that it's on them because you're not taking responsibility. Got to take responsibility. You're a business owner. Stop shifting blame and just learn from the mistakes, right? And get better at what you're doing each day. So now a gang sheet is set up here. The gang sheet is set up, is nice and full. Every square inch is now packed and ready to save. Ready to save. Okay. I'm glad that y'all all are having value and finding value to this right now. So we're ready to save. We're ready to save. Say yes. All right. We're ready to save this here. So before I save this, somebody take a guess. What do you think I'm going to do? Before I save this, I must do something. Take a guess, or you probably already know. Take a guess. What should I do before I go into saving and exporting this image? What should I do? What must I do? It's not even an option. It's a must that you do this step before you go into saving this. Make sure you hit the like button on this. I need at least one person to take a guess on YouTube, Facebook. Where we got? Somebody got a guess. Turn off the background, Jesse. You got it. Turn off the background. Make sure you remove the background. Yes. So for me, I got a bunch of backgrounds here because I ended up duplicating them a few times mistakenly. So I'm just going to delete all of those. And now this blue must be turned off, y'all. Must. 100% must be turned off. All right. Because we want our images to be transparent. Remember, that's where we started with this checkerboard. All right. If your image does not look like this, do not save. If you do not have a clear, transparent background, do not save. You'll be wasting your time. And then you're going to get an email that's telling you, hey, your image is not art ready. It's not print ready and all of that. So make sure you turn off that background. Okay. We're all together now. You're all smart folks, man. Your people are smart. You're business owners. You're smart. All right. So now I'm going to come up here to File, Save As. Okay, so when you come into File, Save As, and you don't see your PNG file here, you can see I don't see my PNG option. That's because, like, for some reason, if you're in CMYK, sometimes it don't give you that option to export, right? Or to save it that way. So there's no worries. We're going to export this as a PNG then. So you come up there to File, and you come up here to export, not the quick export. Okay, don't do the quick export. Go to, go to export as. Export as. So once you hit export as, it's gonna take a little bit for that box to open up. Once they open up, if your computer is overworking like mine, because it has a few software running in the background, you're gonna wait a little bit. So I'm waiting for the arrow to be available to me. Here we go. And now I'm gonna bring this export box over here so y'all can see. Come on, give it to me a little bit smaller. Yep, it's just thinking now. There we go. Boom. All right, so over here in our export file, you can see right now it's on PNG right here. You don't want this in PNG. You don't want this in JPEG. My bad. You don't want this in JPEG, right? Because if you look at the image, it has all white background. We need it to be in transparent. Don't see this white and say, oh, no, it's good. That's white ink. You don't want that white ink on your shirt, y'all. Like, come on. You know, this is also where you would check and make sure your images are not overlapping. I can already see some spots where I'm overlapping. Like right here, I'm touching. So then you will cancel this. You'll go back and you adjust this image a little bit. This is where I like to definitely zoom in and make sure everything is not like its spacing is all good. All right. Accuracy before speed. Before you save this, take a last guess. Take a last look. Is this thing ready for print? If it's touching like this one right here, the folks over at Best DTF always going to send you an image, right? It's in the image right here. Oh, we got a bad one. I get that image a lot too, even after doing this a lot of times, because I'll be speeding through it, especially when you're last minute trying to rush the order in. That's when you make those type of mistakes. So go ahead, make sure everything is good. So we're going to come over here and change this format to PNG. Make sure the transparent is checked. Okay. So once you do PNG and the transparent is checked over there, you will have to give it a second. If your computer is like mine, I have to keep apologizing for my computer, y'all. This computer does a lot. Sometimes you just got to treat it with some love, you know. You can hear it. It's booming right now. It's like that hard drive is sweet. That's why you need a solid state drive. All right, make sure you get a computer with a solid state drive. All right, but this is taking a little bit long, but it's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. We're just gonna wait a little bit. Was this helpful, y'all? Is this helpful to y'all? I hope so. Because now our image is ready. It's still slow. You can see the hand is still moving. Don't save it until you can see this, right? Don't export until you got this checkerboard look. So right now I'm good to export. I'm just going to hit the export button on the bottom right corner. I'm going to export this. And in the midst of my exporting, the next thing that comes up is a box, right? Your file box that tells you, hey, where are you going to save your files at? I told y'all last time you want to have a folder named Best DTF, right? Got that folder right here, Best DTF. I have one that's made called Best DTF USA Videos. So we're going to save this right here as whatever. You name it what you want to name it, right? I'm going to call it Video 2. Whatever. You name it how you want to name it. Maybe you're working on an actual project, which I should have been doing this on an actual project because I got an actual project that I need to place an order for. So now we're going to save this. Okay. Save this up. Save this up. And that's how you would create your gang sheet. That's how you create your gang sheet. All right. In Photoshop. The steps will be all the same in Adobe, in what's the software? Affinity Photo. It's the same steps, man. You're just going to create your artwork and you're going to create your artboard. The same thing. The size, the resolution, the color mode, everything is the same. Right? And then you place your images. We're going to do another video with that another day, but it's all the same. Understand? Say a gaming PC I would recommend if using Photoshop. There you go, with at least 16 RAM. Yep. Get a computer that's built for gaming, stuff like that, because yeah, a regular laptop is gonna get like overpopulated or occupied in time, right? So now I'm gonna take y'all over to Best DTF USA's website. Appreciate that, Jesse. Appreciate that. Jesse saying good live, E. Appreciate it. So my goal is to get this information out to as many people as possible. All right. So now we're gonna go to Best DTF USA. Our guy Jesus over there is helping small businesses make big impressions, y'all. He's doing it fast, and he's helping a lot of people grow fast. So I'm come over here. I'm gonna share this tab with y'all, another brand new tab, and this is where we're gonna go to. I've done it so many times that it's actually my favorites now. So Best DTF USA is where I would recommend that you go for your DTF transfers. They're doing it fast, and their price is unbeatable with so many other folks over on the internet. All right. So as soon as you jump on here, they tell you, come on now, we're 2 days printing plus shipping time. Plus shipping time is up to where you are at, right? Some places might be 2 day shipping. Some places he's in the Midwest, right? So if you're in the Midwest, then you're cool. You might have 2 day shipping plus 1 day, 2 days printing plus 1 day shipping. No matter what, it's 2 days printing on his end. There's so many people that are clapping their hands and reviewing this company and say, oh man, I placed my order last night and I already got a shipping thing for the next day, because they're over there working hard trying to make small businesses win. All right. So boom, that's what it is. But one thing I like to highlight every time I do a video on this page is this policy right here, y'all. Because small business owners, we like to like overlook policies with other small businesses. You know, Chick-fil-A don't open on Sunday. Y'all don't go to Chick-fil-A on Sundays, right? That is their policy. But people feel like, oh, why are they not open? Oh my goodness, why are you not answering my phone? Oh, why are you not responding to the email? Because it is policy that Best DTF only works Monday to Friday. They do not print on Saturday and Sunday. That's their policy. The same way Chick-fil-A is not open on Sunday. And us church folks be mad because we want to be going to Chick-fil-A on Sunday right after a long day at church. But we can't go there. You know, they're closed. So I just like to highlight this part here, man. It's important for us to be respectful to small business owners. They're busting their tops. We're busting our backs, breaking our backs Monday to Fridays, trying to get you guys what y'all need. But because we don't answer the message on one day, you feel as if, man, these people are terrible. I'm reporting them. I want my money back. Matter of fact, I'm putting in a charge back. I just hate this place. You should think about what some of the things that you're saying before you go ahead and send a message out to some folks, because it's okay to fire your customers these days. There's no problem firing customers. All right. I just like to highlight that part. All right. So they have next day shipping fees as available. They have regular printing 2 days plus shipping. Any rush order needs to be placed by noon. So if you need something rushed, like a same day shipping, you must place the order by noon. All right. It's policy. It's policy. All right. It's policies. Everybody have policies. But okay. So now we just created a 22 by 60 gang sheet, right? Check out some of the prices here. Their 22 by 60 gang sheet is $35. I don't know too many companies that have it at that price. Most companies are over here at 50 to 60 bucks for that 60 inch. But for that, they give you 120 inches for 60 bucks. 22 by 24 for just $15, $14.99. You cannot beat that, y'all. You cannot beat that. That's what I'm saying. They're helping small businesses make big impressions. Right? Boom, you scroll down, you got other options. They also have an option here where they would do the gang sheet for you. They would do the gang sheet for you, you know, but you got to pay a little bit more. Okay? So if you guys understand, I just had to give you a little bit of encouragement. Sounds like I'm yelling at you, but I'm not. I'm just trying to make sure we're all on point and on the same page here. So now this is where you go to upload your gang sheet that you created. And when you're here, normally everybody gets this 2-day printing. Man, we talked about it. 2 days printing, everybody get that. That's the regular price based on your shipping address. And then over here we get what's it called? The same day printing, that's $15. Some people, many people are going to charge you $35 to $40 for same day shipping. So many folks, including myself. You're going to pay at least $40 for same day shipping. This guy is doing it for $15. You cannot beat that. As long as you get your artwork in by noon. You're already late if you do it today, if you haven't done it yet. All right. Then you have next day. Do it next day. You'll still be all right. You may just have to call that customer. You may just have to work late. Then they have a VIP option. So we'll come over here. We're going to drag and drop. We're going to actually drop our artwork in here that we just created. That's DTF. We're going to find the one that's we created just now over here. So every time I've been doing a few of these videos now, so then I get the email, which is the abandoned cart email. So I get the abandoned cart email. Oh, you forgot to place your order. I ain't forgot to place my order. I just left it in the cart because I was doing a video. You feel me? So over here now, you're good. You're going to wait till this thing uploads. This bar right here, it says uploading. You can see the number. It's going to turn green when it's done. Now that it's green, it is okay to add to cart. It is okay to add to cart. All right. So before I add to cart, I'm actually going to stop sharing for a second. Right? I'm going to stop sharing for a second because it's going to show some addresses there. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I'm going to hit the add to cart button and make sure it's not exposing address. All right. I'm just hitting the add to cart button there. And over here, you're going to hit the agreement at the bottom. You're going to go to checkout. There's a checkout button there. And then it's going to bring you into the page where you add your shipping address and all of that. But for me right now, I'm going to delete this address here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Now we can jump back into sharing because now I'm going to give y'all the code for 15% off. So we're going to send it to 125, blah, 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 blah. We're going to make up some type of address. All right. Just so y'all can see this and we're going to move past. That's what happens when you do things live. You don't want to be exposing your stuff like that, all right? So I'll make up an address here. Just make this up. I'm going to delete this one here. We don't need it. All right, so we got this fake address. Okay, so we got this fake address. I'm going to share the screen one more time with y'all, all right? Said I was wondering how to add more than one gang sheet. Okay, so we're going to go back. And that way you'll do a zip file. Yes. More than one gang sheet, you'll have to do a zip file. Here we go. Back over here at the checkout. All right, so here at the checkout now, you should be able to see my screen. I got the one gang sheet in here. Okay. And now the discount code that I'm going to give you that's provided to Garment Creations viewers for joining this video is going to be Garment Creations in all caps. GarmentCreatons. That's what gives you 15% off. Once you put that in, you hit apply. All right. So now that $35 gang sheet turns into $29.75, $29.75. Shipping to this random address is going to be $7 Okay, that's their standard shipping there, $7.14. So now you pay $36.89 for a gang sheet. Okay, that is golden. There's no better place than Best DTF USA. All right, you guys found value to this? If you did, don't forget, drop a comment, leave a review, do something nice for the channel for bringing this information to you, right? Hit some hearts, share it. That's the bare minimum. That's all we ask. You don't always got to support with your cash. You can support with just sharing the information, sharing the video. IG, appreciate y'all for tuning in and sticking through this. Instagram, you got the code now. This is code there is going to be Garment Creations, all caps, for 15% off. So now, if you got any questions, you want me to answer, drop that question down below. Zip file, you can upload zip files. You just got to put all of to do the zip file, you put all of the images. I'll show you real quick. Put all the images in one folder and turn that into a zip. So let me get this ready real quick. Let's see. So see if we can share this. I'm gonna show you how to do this zip file real quick. Boom. See if I can share this screen. Windows. Let's go here. Okay, so let's pretend these are all your gang sheets. And you want all of these different gang sheets to be uploaded. You want to upload them as a zip file, right? So I'm just going to create all of these, right? Highlight all of them, put them all in one folder. Okay, right click on it, right? Right click on it and send to compressed zip folder. Send to compressed zip folder. When I hit this, all of those things now go into one folder. This yellow folder was never there. Now this is just zip. This zip here now has all of these files within that zip. Now this zip here is what you're going to send to them. Understood? So now you can take the zip, you can extract all and be able to get over that overwhelming feeling of, oh, I can't upload more than one. All right. Good. You guys got that? I think this was helpful. This was helpful. Like Jesus is saying, man, if you want, you remember you can learn one-on-one. Okay. And he was telling me, man, I want to send people to you to do more one-on-one. A lot of people need more one-on-one information, one-on-one help. There's the link down below that Jesus just dropped. It's also linked up on my Instagram. You can sign up for one-on-ones, right? I actually discounted the price big time. My one-on-one price normally is $150 an hour. That price now has been cut all the way down. I think that's like $50 and $50 or something like that, right? If you're going through Jesus is sending you over or something like that, you can get that discounted rate. Okay, so that link is down below. And if you're watching this and you say, man, I'm totally new to all of this, I need more help, I do have a course that's available that's also linked in the bio for just $27. For less than 83 cents a day, you'll be able to learn from myself, a real life expert that's been doing this for 8 years now. All right. So I have to give you that information. And if you want to invest in yourself for just $27, the link is down below or in the bio if you're watching on IG. Okay. If you guys don't have any other questions, I do have to place a real order to get ready for some stuff to be done in the next couple of days. So I got to really get in here and create a real piece of artwork and upload it, create my own design now and create my own gang sheet and upload it onto Best DTF USA. All right. So until next time, remember, man, this is business. It wasn't all built in one day. Don't be disappointed. Don't lose heart.
Stay strong. Don't be comparing yourself with everybody else that got the shiny stuff. You're probably watching them right now at their 8th year, and you're thinking like, man, I need to be like them, but you're only on your first month. You can't compare that type stuff, all right? Just tunnel vision and go. Focus on your growth. Focus on your business. Have a great day. God bless you. Keep firing up the heat press. And I'm out of here. Peace.